probably if during an entire 5 or 6 episode stretch, if there was a character and all they ever did was then no one would care who was doing that voice. It wouldn't necessarily have to be a specific person. And I do that kind of stuff all the time. Go in for sessions and do bit parts, and there's a lot of shows that you can just hear me all over them. It's like one episode I'm old woman A. Hello, you know, and then the next episode I'm a little school kid. Mom, I want a ball, or whatever, you know. So I go in and do all these little bits and laughing and running and all that stuff. We have to, if there's any vocalizations that are in there that were done by a person, if it's whatever the character is, if the character is a human, if the character is an animal, vegetable, mineral, whatever it is, if there was a voice to that thing originally in the Japanese, then it would have to have a voice in English. Or whatever language they're doing it in. Yeah. Oh gosh, no. No. He wants to know, do I do bloopers on purpose? No. Not on purpose. Sometimes they just happen, and it's ridiculous because, you know, there's the screen right there, and there's the script. So, but sometimes, you know, you just get tongue-tied or, for whatever reason, accidentally read the next line, which is not really your line, but no. No, I wouldn't do it on purpose. I would want to do the best job that I possibly can and finish recording as quickly as I can because, yeah, they like that. Yes. Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah.
I know many years ago you shared the story of the Excel Saga boy. Feel free to share it with me.
What? Oh, Sandora? My character, Sandora? Oh, the Bigfoot! Oh, yeah, that was awesome. Yes, thank you. In Excel Saga, I played a lot of characters. Excel Saga was definitely one of my very favorite shows of all time because I got to play lots of different characters in it. I played Matsuya, who's like a buxom bombshell type, and I was Kumi Kumi, who marries Nabashin. She's always running him after him with some soup, and anyway. And I was Sandora, which is Pedro's son. I want to go to America and become an animator. That was Sandora. And anyway, and there was an episode, the bowling episode, and this little kid comes in to the bowling alley to rent a pair of shoes. And it was something like, yeah, I'd like to get a pair of shoes. And they asked me what size, and it was something like, I wear a size 42. And they say, oh, come on, no one has feet that big. And the kid says, oh, yeah? Check these out. And he lifts up his foot, and this kid has got this ridiculously huge foot. And so that was literally, I think I had 3 lines in that episode. And so I am credited in that episode as Bigfoot. Yeah, Bigfoot. And another character I did in that series, there was an episode where Mitchie has an adventure. That's the little dog that they're always threatening to eat. He's not a cat, it's a dog. Anyway, they're always threatening to eat him. And there was like this little mean kid who was taunting him and throwing rocks at him. And he's really a jerk. But then a giant boulder falls on this kid and squashes him. So that was me also. Most excellent. Indeed, yeah. Got squashed by a rock. You deserve that if you're throwing rocks at a dog, by the way. Yeah. Excel Saga was great. Yeah.
Can you use like some voice character for us?
I have been doing that right now. What are you, stupid? There you go. Yeah.
Were there any particular roles that just got away you wish you could have maybe gotten?
Every one I auditioned for that I did not get. That is the honest truth. Which is a lot.
Are there any roles you wanted that you did not get?
Yes. Any of the ones that I auditioned for, and I did not get those jobs. I wanted all of those jobs. I'm not being, you know, silly about it. I mean, really, there's no job that I auditioned for that I didn't want.
What's the character you most wanted that you really felt like?
Honey, I've played hundreds of characters. I'm sure I've auditioned for thousands. If I spent any time thinking about that, I'd probably need to be locked up. I spend 0 time thinking about that. 0. Yeah.
Do you prefer high action roles or high drama?
Ooh. Well, I don't know. With the action stuff, there's a lot of screaming, and that can be painful. But I don't know. I kind of like working on the comedies, honestly. But truthfully, a paying job. That's like whatever the show is about. I don't care. It's fine. I like it all. I tell you what I'm really squeamish about though is horror. So any of the ones that are like, I worked on Elfen Lied a little bit, and I worked in Gantz a little bit. I cannot watch those shows. I'm just telling you. I know it's animated. I know people aren't really getting impaled and beheaded and all that stuff. But no, I can't do it so much. Not really. Because I watch it like that, and then, yeah, it's not that good. Yeah.
What would be your favorite role you've done?
Too hard for me to pick one favorite one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I've done hundreds and hundreds of roles, so it's just, I just cannot even narrow it down to my top 5. I don't know. I'm sorry if that's not the great answer that you wanted, but it's just, I just can't do it. Yeah.
In your 20 years of working in the anime industry, what has it been like for you? Like, what are your most memorable moments for you?
Wow, 20 years. Well, you know, just like getting hired the first time. That was my first paid acting job working in anime.
Is it hard for you to
That
know
was
what that was?
crazy. His show was called Guy Double Target. It's hentai. Yes, I know. I was so excited though, because like, I've got a job working on a real movie, you know. I mean, they had it at Suncoast, so I was very excited about that. Yeah, so that was a very memorable moment for me, you know, just getting hired the first time. I like remember that vividly. I don't know. Probably going to my first convention where I was a guest, and the first time someone asked me to sign something, and I did not know what they were asking me. I did not understand that the person wanted me to autograph something for them. And the person who was at the booth with me, I was just hanging out at the ADD booth because I didn't really know what I should be doing. And the person who was at the booth with me said, "Tiffany, he wants your autograph." And I said, "No, he doesn't." And the guy said, "Yeah, actually, I do." And I, "Oh, really?" And that was right before, I think that was right, either maybe my first volume of Evangelion had just come out, or it was about to come out, because it was in May of 1997. So that would have been right when Asuka was about to hit, when Asuka strikes. Right around that time, yeah. Probably 2 of my most memorable, but then, I don't know, lots and lots of memorable moments over 19 and a half years. Yeah.
Oh, what is like the silliest thing that you had to do to like get desired like voice or like effect, like a sound? Maybe you had to eat something weird or whatever. Like,
Silly sounds. Well, what was it in? I don't even remember now what the show was, but I remember that they wanted me to do a really cartoony sound that was like that would sound like G, N, G, like something like that. So that's pretty weird. I can't even remember how I did that. To me, what I think of as the weirdest or silliest thing I ever did was a show called Those Who Hunt Elves. And I played this little kind of magical bear. He was very small. And it turns out that the unusual thing about these little tiny bears, and they're only about this big, I mean they fit in your hand, they excrete rolls of toilet paper. So when they poop, what pops out is like a full-size roll of toilet paper that's pretty much as big as they are. But anyway, so I had to, as the little tiny peachy bear, I had to be like, making like little exertion sounds while he's, making the roll of toilet paper. That's probably about the most ridiculous thing I ever did. I mean, just even the concept of that, a tiny magical bear who poops toilet paper, and then having to make the noises for that. But, sometimes when you talk about eating, I do that sometimes. Like, if the character is supposed to be eating in a scene, and I actually eat something, and, I mean, there is a trick, which I'm not, well, actually, I did just wash my hands, but there is a trick that you do. If you're supposed to be eating, the character's supposed to be eating, and you put your finger in your mouth like that, and then it sounds like you're chewing or something. So you can, that is a cheat that you can do, but, yeah. I chew on. And what I would like bring snacks into the booth and say, oh, okay, here's a scene, my character's eating now, and I would eat. And then eventually I would have eaten all of my snacks by the time, and I have to eat again. And so there's the thing, you just have to make sure to keep your hands clean. Yeah.
Have you ever had like an encounter at a con or a panel with like a really weird fan that was like really creepy or
I do a whole panel called Tales of Con Horror, which is nothing but that. Encounters of strangeness. And most of them are not appropriate for a PG setting. But yes, many of those. But really, it's mostly good. It's mostly good. Yeah.
So how's your family respond when you come home and they watch the completed version? What do they?
They don't really watch it. No, my family doesn't really. They're not. Most of my family's not really into anime, or they don't really know anything about it, or.
So just you on the couch alone watching it?
Well, I mean, my husband is the co-founder of ADV, and also he currently now works with like Sentai Film Works and Section 23 and a seer and all of that. So he watches, produces, and whatever else anime for a living. He eats, sleeps, and breathes anime. So.
He's a bigger nerd than you.
Oh God, yes. Before he founded ADV, he founded Anime NASA, which was the largest anime club in the city of Houston. And Houston's a pretty big city, if you didn't know. But yeah, he's been an anime fan for many decades, many years, long time. But no, the rest of like my parents, brothers and sisters and all that, they don't really watch it. They're just like, it's just not their thing. It's okay. It's just not their thing. Wait a minute. Right there.
Have you ever used your talents to get out of a real life situation like a telemarketer or something?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if you can hear, have I used my talents to get out of a real life situation such as being a telemarketer? That is a great question. I wish I had a fantastic story to tell you. I can't. I should have something like that. That would be this great story. I need to work on that for the next panel. I don't know. I mean, I will admit to you that I do lie to telemarketers, so I guess there's always that. Well, actually, I don't necessarily lie to them, but here's a great thing, if you want to call it a great thing about being an actor, is I'm almost always unemployed. Like, I'm unemployed right now. The only time I'm employed as an actor is actually when I'm on a set or in a booth. Like, if I have a recording session, I walk into the booth, blah, 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 blah. Look, I have a job, I'm employed. I'm done recording, I step out of the booth, unemployed. So most of the time I'm unemployed. So when people call me and want donations, I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm unemployed. And it's true, almost all the time, I'm almost always unemployed. So I say it and it's not a lie. Oh, you know what's funny though? Totally unrelated to your question, but it made me think of this. I was getting my hair cut about a week ago, and the hairdresser, who by the way, this is the same salon where Monica Rial used to work, so she knows Monica, and she knows what we do. At least I thought she knows what we do. And she asked me, did you work today? And I said, no, I didn't work today. She's like, well, that's good. And I'm thinking, Why is that good? Because people think of like, you know, like a hairdressing job, if you got the day off from that you would be happy that you got the day off. It's like, I said, it's not that good. If I don't work, I don't make any money, so. That's kind of weird. Yeah. Not a good thing to say to an actor. There's just a tip for you. Oh, you haven't been